Hello everyone, welcome to Diagnose It. Today we'll discuss a quite interesting as well as a quite important topic that how this instrument, this pulse oximeter works. So firstly, let us see that what it measures. As you can see in this monitor here, there are these three things. One is this SpO2, this is percentage saturation of oxygen in the blood, and this is PR, like this pulse rate. Now there is this graph kind of thing below. This is basically plethysmograph, and this is the pulse waveform. So these are the three things that this pulse oximeter measures. But the most interesting part is how it measures, how this instrument works. Now the working of this instrument is basically we can divide it in these four headings. One is the variable, next is the mechanism and processing and result. So firstly about the variable, and the variable here is basically this hemoglobin molecule. Like this hemoglobin molecule can be bound to O2 or cannot be bound to O2. So this one is oxygenated hemoglobin, and this one is non-oxygenated hemoglobin. So this is basically our two variables. We just need to measure the amount of this oxygenated as well as non-oxygenated hemoglobin to know about the percentage saturation of oxygen. So this is our variable. Now let's come to the mechanism part, and this is quite interesting. Well, in this instrument there are two things. One is this emitter of light, this emitter, and this emitter basically emits two types of light. One is it emits red colored light, and it also emits this infrared color of light. The wavelength of red colored light is 660 nanometer, and this infrared light is 940 nanometer. And the other one, this one is emitter, and the other one is the receiver part. This emitter basically emits this wavelength of light and as well as this wavelength of light, and this receiver basically receives the wavelength of light that is emitted by the emitter. So why we selected these specific wavelengths of light? Well, this is because at these wavelengths the difference in the absorption of this light by the oxygenated and the non-oxygenated hemoglobin is the maximum. Like this 660 nanometer of light is maximally absorbed by that non-oxygenated hemoglobin, and this 940 nanometer it is absorbed maximally by that oxygenated hemoglobin, and there is a lot of difference between the absorption of the light. So by this absorption we can measure the amount of this oxygenated and non-oxygenated hemoglobin. And how we measure it? It is by the use of these two physics laws. One is this Beer's law. What this Beer's law states that this absorbance is directly proportional to this concentration. Like we need to measure the concentration of non-oxygenated and oxygenated hemoglobin. So the absorbance of light by these two specific molecules is basically directly proportional to the concentration of the molecules in the blood. And the next law is Lambert's law. And what this law states that this absorbance is directly proportional to the distance that is traveled by that light. So by the use of these two physics laws, this Beer's and Lambert law, we can actually calculate the amount of this oxygenated and non-oxygenated hemoglobin. So I think till now you guys have understood that what is the main principle behind the mechanism of this instrument. But still there is one thing. Suppose this is our finger. We just insert our finger in the pulse oximeter, and this one is the arterial supply, and suppose this one is the venous supply. How this instrument differentiate the blood, that the blood is in arterial circulation or the blood is in venous circulation? So yes, there is a very good explanation for that also, because as you know, this arterial circulation is pulsatile and this venous circulation is basically non-pulsatile. So as according to this law, this Lambert's law, this absorption is directly proportional to the distance. So due to the pulsatile nature of blood here, the waveform that we get is like this. This is the waveform that we get, and due to the non-pulsatile nature we get a flat kind of waveform. So this basically discards this waveform and it amplifies this waveform, this pulsatile kind of waveform, and by this waveform we get the actual result. So this is the main mechanism of the working of this pulse oximeter, and this mechanism is called as photospectrometry. Like we are measuring the amount of any substance in a solution or in this blood by the use of the amount of light that is absorbed by that molecule, and also the amount of light that is reflected by that molecule. So this is the main mechanism of this photospectrometry, and by this mechanism we measure the amount of oxygenated and deoxygenated hemoglobin, and by the ratio of that oxygenated and deoxygenated hemoglobin we can measure the this percentage saturation, this SpO2. What is this SpO2? There is this easy way to understand what is this SpO2. Suppose these are 10 molecules of this hemoglobin. Now let's suppose none of the hemoglobin molecule is having oxygen. So this this whole group, the saturation of this all the hemoglobin molecules at this stage comes to be 0%. Now suppose if out of these 10, only 4 of the hemoglobin molecules are oxygenated and these 6 are non-oxygenated. So here the saturation comes out to be 40%. And suppose out of these 10 molecules of hemoglobin, all the hemoglobin molecules are having the oxygen. So at this stage the saturation comes out to be 100%. So all of the hemoglobin molecules are saturated with the oxygen. So this is basically the percentage saturation, that how much of the hemoglobin is saturated with oxygen. So this is what we measure, and we measure it by this principle of photospectrometry. So this is the SpO2 and this is the pulse rate, and we know how it measures the pulse rate, because it measures this pulsatile waveform, and this basically takes the average from this pulsatile waveform. Like out of 10 to 12 waves, it takes the average, and that average is basically of that the reading, that SpO2 reading that we are getting. And what is this? This is basically the plethysmographic reading, and let's see these waveforms. This is the normal signal. As you know, this is the basically dichrotic notch that we can see, the type of pulse waveform that we normally see. So this is the normal signal over this plethysmography. This is a kind of flat line, like there is no pulsatile action, so there is no pulsation seen, and this is basically seen in cases of low perfusion states, like in cases of heart failure or sometimes in cases of anemia also. And this is the case of noise artifacts, like there is some kind of noise and vibration, and this is the kind of motion artifacts that you can see. So the normal waveform that is seen is this, and these motion artifacts, these are basically seen if the patient is moving his hand while measuring this percentage saturation of oxygen. So this is all about this how this pulse oximeter works. I'll make a video on how to use this pulse oximeter, because this is quite important during this current situation of COVID-19. So thank you, and for more such videos, do follow Diagnose It.